Hello, friends and family. Here we go again with another build. We got another computer build, and we're doing a Ryzen build again. So before, if you watch my previous videos, you will see that I built a Ryzen 3. It was an awesome gaming machine meant to be built specifically for playing the game World of Warcraft, Battle for Azeroth. It played it and got 80 frames per second easily. And that Ryzen 3 doesn't have a graphics card in the machine. I mean, it has a graphics card. It actually has the graphics built in, so you don't need a graphics card. And it played the games awesome. It came together. It was a beautiful build. We went with a green and black theme. And today what we're going to be doing is we're going to go with a Ryzen 7 build. And so this is the processor here. And the one that we chose was the AMD Ryzen 7 1700X. Now this has a base clock of 3.4 and a boost clock of 3.8, but we're gonna try our hands out in some overclocking and try to boost this thing up to at least a 3.9 and possibly even a 4. I don't know if we're gonna push it to a 4.1, but at least a 3.9 to 4 on all cores. RAM that we're going to be using, I found this on Newegg, and it's some Vulcan, and that's a 16 gig kit of DDR4, of course, 2666 on the speed, and that's what we're going to be using with that. And we're also going to be cooling this thing with the Hyper 212 Evo. This should give us a mild overclockers, which is exactly what we're going for. And it says it's compatible with the AM4, so I decided to try it out. It should be big enough and beefy enough to be able to handle that Ryzen. I've never built with the Hyper 212, even though it's come highly recommended. Some other tech guys that I know and a few builders highly recommended this cooler in a lot of my other builds, but instead it was too big for the cases that I was building in before. But now I'm actually going to be building in a case that can handle it, and this is the motherboard that we're going to be using. The case is going to be the Corsair Spec 02. You can see that there. And this was a case that I picked up, and it was in fairly good condition, and I picked this up secondhand, and I got a great deal on it, so I couldn't pass it up. I remember I wanted to build in one of these a while back and just never did. I actually went with one of the cases by Cooler Master for my last build that I did for myself. So I decided to go with it this time, and what we're going to be rocking is a Corsair RM 650 fully modular power supply. And I actually got a deal on the combination of the power supply with the case, so that's why I already have that together. Looks like they already started out doing some cable management for me, so it cuts out a little bit of the work that I'll have to do in this case. And it even came with a optical drive, as you can see in here. Right. DVD player. Okay. So this case, it looks like it's missing the dust filters that go on the bottom down here. So I may have to create some makeshift dust filters for the bottom down here. The power supply, I think I'm going to leave that turned the way that it is. It's turned so that the fan is actually blowing the air out the back, but it's pulling air from the system and blowing it out the back. So I may leave it like that for now unless I suspect that it's causing some issues. But other than that, I'll leave it like that. I'm probably going to remove these drive cages, even though it has a few slots up here for SSDs. And you can see all the dust in there, so I'm going to have to clean this thing out before I actually start building in it. That way I can get better airflow with these cages removed. I have 2 slots here for the fans. My fans haven't arrived yet, but they're on the way, and they're going to be white LED. And I'm also looking at the fan in the back, and I'm probably going to replace this one. I'm going to remove this and put that down here at the bottom. This case actually has a place for 6 fans. You got 2 at the top, 1 at the back, one down here at the bottom, and then 2 in the front. 2, 4, 5, 6. So I'm gonna take this one, since it's just a plain black fan that came with the case. I'm gonna move that to the bottom down here next to the power supply, just to provide that extra cooling there, just to keep the dust out. I'm also gonna leave these 2 blank because I may decide to upgrade and put a radiator up there later on down the line. But I'll just leave them there for now. They have a dust filter on them. This back fan is gonna be a white LED. And then the 2 front fans, spaces up here, are gonna be white LED as well. Now, the cooler that I'm using, it should fit nicely inside of there. Of course, it's going to be too big with the box, but it should fit nicely inside of there. So that's why I went with it. Give me some extra cooling. Now, one that I have tried before is the Hyper T2, and this thing provided some really good cooling for what it's worth. I mean, I picked this thing up for, dirt cheap from the Micro Center. Got a great deal on it. It provided the cooling that I need. I used it on a, what did I use it on? I used it on an Intel i5 2400. I also used it on an, what else? I used it on an AMD, the FX 8320E. I also used this on a AMD, one of the FM2 processors. Which one? It was the A10 7850K. The APUs when AMD was running the APUs, I used that on a build for my wife. For her, she does some mild gaming and also mainly just doing schoolwork. So that's that, and you can just see the size difference in these things right there. You can see this one, there's a bunch of dust on it from being in storage. I just pulled that out of storage just to show the size comparison, and you can look here and you can kind of get a picture of these specifications on here, and you can pause the video and take a look at some of the compatibility, some of the airflow, fan speeds, noise, weight, things of that nature. Right. All right. So, yeah, that's that. And here's a picture of them side by side. So, one of the differences that you'll know is that this has 2 heat pipes, and this one has 4 heat pipes, copper. So that's going to provide extra contact, extra cooling on that. And as you can see, the size is much more massive as well. And I might as well just go ahead and do an unboxing so we can see what comes in here. So let's go ahead and break this open. Well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and save that and do an extra unboxing on a separate video. But that's all for now. So just look for the other videos when I do the unboxing on the Hyper 212 Evo.